Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, Variant 7 is gonna come to the game in less than 2 hours from now, and this video is kind of like to go over my battle plan and what is going to be different with it to how I typically approach all of this new content. Because last couple of variants and like 7.1, I like to do completely itemless, obviously not looking at energy refills, and it was fun and it was perfectly doable. That did mean that I had to maybe a couple of times rerun a path or something. However, this time it's going to be a bit different. Obviously, I will be live streaming it as soon as it lands into my Alchemist of Champions, but this time I also want to get through it all and have it 100% explored within 24 hours of it launching. Now, the reason for it is actually fairly straightforward and simple. This is because I do want to grind and stream my grind for Jabari Panther, which starts tomorrow, and I want to be free to do that and not have to focus on doing anything else. Also, doing it that early will obviously help me to create guides and some tip and trick videos and perhaps find some interesting interactions as my champions are refreshing. So that is the plan. The plan is that I will run through it as quickly as I can, and that means that I will be streaming it pretty much as soon as it starts, maybe half an hour after. And that also means that I will be streaming it tomorrow morning instead of my normal coffee and grind stream, and probably tomorrow midday to afternoon to make sure I can finish it before Arena starts tomorrow for Jabari Panther. But it also means that I do want to have readily available plan. Now, based on all the information that we know, obviously we do want to use hero champions, and there are also class restrictions, which we know for each chapter is going to be skill and tech, mystic and mutant, cosmic and science. Now, what I have done here is I have filtered out champions that will be available in each of the chapters, and obviously we can quickly go through the champions that probably will put in most amount of work for majority of the community, and also my own personal situation. And that is going to be where my champion selection will potentially differ from other people, because I will be running suicides. It's currently Alliance War off season, and I am very determined not to take off my suicide masteries unless something very, very important happens for 2 weeks, because suicide masteries makes this game so much more fun, so much more fast, so much more interesting, and that is one of the main reasons why I look towards off season, just to have that increased speed and playability, and I not having to switch my masteries all the time. Right. So the champions that will be able to put in a lot of work with increased ability accuracy, because that is going to be one of the global nodes. I do think that OG Black Panther actually might be surprisingly interesting with some interesting synergies, but that is probably more of a video material than actually going through the content. Black Widow Deadly Origin should be quite good, considering that she can counter ability accuracy in her base, and her ability should be more potent, therefore she should be inflicting more shocks. That should be quite interesting. On top of that, Elsa Bloodstone is probably going to be quite a useful champion in general. Falcon should be one of the MVPs. A lot of people are looking towards the Gwenpool, because you could have a very good chance of stun chain with her due to the globals. I think Hulkbuster probably will be quite helpful. Nick Fury is obviously going to be the MVP for many people, and quite possibly for me as well. Other than that, Night Rusher has all the makings to help a ton of people if you do have him ranked up. However, he is not really suicide friendly, so I'm not looking at him right now. And then we have Stealth Suit Spidey and Warlock. Now I'm gonna jump to a different screen here, and this is the screenshot of my own top skill and tech champions. And because I'm running Suicide Masteries, I will likely just blindly pick a team of Warlock, Nick Fury, Hulkbuster, Elsa Bloodstone, and either Guardian or Black Widow Deadly Origins. I think that will be fairly straightforward, solid team that handles Suicide Masteries relatively well, and should also be able to answer majority of the problem points that I could encounter there. And yeah, that is where I am sitting in this chapter. Next up, we need to check out chapter number 2 with Mystic and Mutant Champions. So let's jump to Aunt May once again. And with Mystic and Mutant champions, we can see that Archangel should be extremely potent option because he's a killer of a champion on his own. But with increased ability accuracy, he should be really crazy. I do still expect Colossus to be able to put in quite a bit of work, especially because if you want to, you can bring in that Omega Red synergy with him as well, even though you can't really use Omega, but you can still bring it just to beef up Colossus so much more. And the same goes for Apocalypse, just FYI. You can still bring in Apocalypse, and you can still make a mutant a horseman, even though there's going to be quite a lot of fluffing about by doing that. But anyways, we have Colossus. Domino obviously will be kind of like beefed up on steroids quite a bit as well. We have Dragon Man, who's like the only Mystic champion who has access, no, one of the two Mystic champions, I believe, who has access to slow, so that could be quite useful. Other than that, who else we can take a look at here? I expect White Magneto to come quite in handy in case we do need to deal with some limber nodes on tricky fights and so on and so forth. Then we have Professor X, who will unfortunately not be of much help to me personally because he is one of the most suicide unfriendly champions. And Scarlet Witch could actually be up to some very cool and interesting shenanigans. We have Sorcerer Supreme, which again is not really suicide friendly option. And I personally might end up struggling quite a bit on this chapter as well. So let's jump to my roster, and here we can see that I do have the Archangel and Colossus and White Magneto, and I'll probably end up using the synergies for the other two spots most likely. Or perhaps I will bring in like Namor and Dragon Man just because they happen to be relatively suicide friendly, or Black Widow Clairvoyant. So I'm not entirely sure in which direction here I will go myself, whether I'll go with full-on mutant synergy team setup, which could very well happen, or if I don't do that, I'm going to bring in Claire, Namor, White Magneto, Archangel, and Colossus or Dragon Man, just to kind of like go with suicide-friendly champions. And this is also kind of showing quite well the issues that many people might have running Suicide Masteries full-time, because you do really need quite a large roster if you want to be able to support Suicide Masteries in all of the content. And most of the content is fine, but as soon as they start chopping down the options that you are able to bring in quests, it can get a bit narrow, and you do need to kind of like think outside of the box, and it can be less than ideal setup. Right, all of that being said, we still do have chapter 3, so let's jump to that one straight up. And Cosmic and Science class, I think overall probably will be kind of like the best of most of, because Science class alone has like 4 slow champions. Science class obviously has access to Quake as well, who is a hero champion, and I am not worried at all for using these champions, especially because a lot of them will end up benefiting from ability accuracy. We have Spider-Ham, who is going to enjoy that increased ability accuracy to place more of his power stings on opponent. Hyperion with the potential for stun loop. Then we have Captain America Infinity War, who will gain more potency even at low sig, and he's going to be more viable. We're going to have Cap Marvel Movie, who's going to place more armor breaks, therefore deal more damage. Gamora gaining more furies and cruelties if you need to resort to using it. Obviously, then we have Quake, and She-Hulk is going to build her furies quicker. And this seems to be kind of like the most rich chapter of great options, so to speak. And for me personally, once again, because I will be running Suicide Masteries for this, as I'm trying to push through all of Variant 7 within first 24 hours, I will probably just bring in Quake, because Quake is Quake, and Quake will shred stuff up. Immortal Hulk should probably be extremely fun option if I don't have too many away champions to deal with. If I do, then definitely I'm going to bring in She-Hulk. And Hyperion also sounds like a very solid option to use, because obviously of all the increased ability accuracy. And other than that, it could be Cosmic Ghost Rider or Captain Marvel Movie or whoever else is kind of needed, but it will probably revolve around Quake, Captain America, She-Hulk, Hyperion, and maybe Immortal Hulk. Kind of depends on nodes, obviously, because we do not know exactly how that quest is going to look like. But that is just about it that I wanted to let you guys know. So a couple of things going out of this video. Obviously, you guys kind of like get to see my thought process of what teams I'm just going to be grabbing at first, and then I'm going to be taking a look at what kind of specialized nodes I have to deal with. And obviously I will be posting guides, I will be posting completion guides, exploration guides, some cheesy interactions, some fun things to do in Variant 7 like I always do. And most importantly, do not miss out of catching me finishing this content live, doing it quickly, and straight off the bat, getting it done within 24 hours. All that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and even more importantly, hopefully you guys see you later on the live stream. So yeah. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information